Man, I've been watching Adventure Time since the very first episode. Honestly, I kind of thought it was going to be a flash in the pan before dying and fading into obscurity. Oh boy, was I wrong. I had no idea this show was going to keep me company throughout the majority of the time I've been in school, then mutate into this strange yet beautiful butterfly we have today. I remember the commercials they had for driving up hype for this show a long time ago. You know, the one where it's that one kid who's going to people randomly in public and shouting, "What time is it? What time is it?"
Adventure time! Yeah! What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What? What time is it?
And it made me feel really weird and uncomfortable and confused, and I had no idea what was going on. But that got my attention. You know, for an advertisement, it did its job. Okay, I mean, yeah, it was weird, but I was interested. Yeah. Whoever came up with that commercial, you did a good job. The interesting thing is that I actually watched the first episode by accident. I was sitting right here, and then I was watching the show on that TV, and I was doing homework when it just came on. And I went, oh, right, this is that one show from that weird commercial. Sure, I'll watch it. And I remember being confused most of the time and lost, but I felt like I had fun, which I think is the most important part of it. I remember walking away thinking, I feel better now. I feel better than I had previously. I didn't really feel bad, but I'm definitely happier. So yeah, I'm gonna give this show another shot. And thus began my obsession with this show for several years. I remember downloading Trouble in Lumpy Space onto my iPod.
Lumpy Space Princess, you big faker. You're floating, not bouncing.
Fine, I'll prove it. Huh? Oh no! Oh snap!
Just to watch it during the commercials for movies when we went to go watch a movie. And I watched that video, that one episode, way too many times. In fact, I watched it so much, I started abandoning "oh my god" and started saying "oh my glob," but I'd say it really quietly and so that nobody could hear me because it was really embarrassing. But I think the most important part about that on my iPod was the ending song. Because the first time I listened to it, I remember just being awash with this feeling of bliss, this calm, this fantastic feeling, and before I knew how to actually edit videos and manipulate audio files, I would grab my iPod, go to that video, go to the very end, just to listen to that song whenever I was feeling too stressed or not as happy as I felt like I should be. I think the most interesting / fun time I had with the franchise was when they had that one expansion where they added Finn and Jake and the Ice King's castle in Fusion Fall.
All in all, you have to admit, this world is a pretty amazing place. I mean, what's not to love? Mutant toddlers, imaginary friends, giant robots, child genius.
It was like Cartoon Network's version of an MMORPG. I played it a lot, and it eventually didn't do quite as well as they'd hoped, and they shut down the servers. But they had one expansion where you could go into the Ice King's castle, and you could talk to Finn and talk to Jake, and there was the little frog on the little mushroom from Trouble in Lumpy Space, where you could... I think that actually teleported you to the Ice King's castle in the game, but whatever. It felt like a love letter to the fans. It was just such a cool idea, and I loved it so much. I wish Fusion Fall was still a thing. It's kind of a bummer how it isn't now. The most memorable time for me in Adventure Time was when Finn took off his hat and exposed his long, flowing hair.
Well then, check this out!
Though he did cut it all off. I remember I started watching Adventure Time in middle school, and when I saw that, I thought that was only a girl thing. I respect you, bro. that is something I feel like I want to do now, because I had wanted to grow my hair out for quite some time, but I never had the courage to. And then I saw Finn have amazingly long hair, and I'm like, yes, I now have the courage to do it. And that began the worst hairstyle I ever had in my life. Oh, if you think this is bad, no. It got worse. It can get much worse, but I was proud of that hair, and that is the most important part. I feel like the core of Adventure Time was being different, but not being different for the sake of being different. More like being different because it feels comfortable in its own skin when it's different. And I think that spawned a lot of the ideas that came after Adventure Time. I kind of feel like Regular Show kind of had that same vibe after Adventure Time, and I only say that because I turned to my left and I see the new Adventure Time Regular Show crossover comic book on my desk over there. Speaking of comic books, oh man, talk about a transition. So, the first time I found out about the comic books, I was in the comic shop, I saw on the shelf issue 8 of Adventure Time, and I lost my mind, grabbed it, slammed it on his desk, and said, "How dare you not tell me about Adventure Time comic books? I thought we had a thing, but apparently we didn't." And I was upset, and then I had to track down issue 1, and even today I still don't have issue 1 because I'm not paying $25 for a single issue. Jeez, that's ridiculous. I have every issue from issue 8 and on. I think during that time I missed Marceline and the Scream Queens, which makes me very sad. I do have the trade paperback, and I do have the trade paperback of issues 1 up to 8, but still, it's just not the same as the issue. I got all the issues. I have way too many. I have all the comics down in my basement in a box, bagged and boarded and off the ground just in case it floods, just because I'm like, those are my babies. Don't you dare hurt them. I am a little proud of my collection. I am not going to lie. I am very happy about how many glossy pieces of paper I have about Adventure Time. I forget at what point they released the video games for Adventure Time, but I remember when it was gonna come out, I thought to myself, and this is when I was very young and stupid, I thought to myself, this is gonna fly off the shelves, everyone's gonna want this, I need to pre-order it now before anybody can get it. And the day it was coming out, I went to GameStop, and I walked in and I said, "Hi, I have a pre-order for me for Adventure Time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage?" And he said, "Whoa, okay, let me just check my database, and we don't have it." Excuse you? They didn't have it in. They didn't order anything. I had to wait another week before I got it, and there was nobody there. I was the only customer. I thought there would be a line out the door, ready to get this one game, and nope. I was a little sad. But this collector's game, this Hey Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? I feel like it's actually really good. I mean, I know the 3DS games didn't really receive the best praise, but I feel like the first one they came out with was actually fun, especially since the case is the Enchiridion. Guys, this is cool. Whoever thought of making the tin case the Enchiridion deserves all the praise. Whoever did this deserves a raise, in my opinion. Oh man, I haven't opened these in forever. I mean, there's opening videos of this everywhere else, so I won't bother opening it here. But geez, I spent way too much time playing this game. Then the second game came out, the explore this dungeon because I don't know. I will be honest, this wasn't a good game. This was bad. This was a really bad game. I tried so hard to love it. I got so far into this game. The case is still fantastic, I will admit. The case is absolutely gorgeous. But I think Rebel Taxi said it best when he said, you just choose Marceline, you float over everything, and she's basically the most overpowered character, and there's no reason to choose anyone else. I tried choosing other characters just to see how they feel, but after playing as Marceline for so long, I'm like, nope, Marceline is the only character I'm using in this game. And oh yeah, they got a little disc for interviews with the cast. Oh, they got actor interviews, storyboards, cinematics, and concept art. Oh shoot, concept art? I might actually want to go see that. Oh dang. After that, I kind of fell off the video games, which saddened me. I heard the latest one wasn't that bad, as of the recording of this video. I hear they're making one more. Yeah, I hear they're making one more, and it's not going to be a retro throwback. The video games, at least the first one was pretty good. If you haven't played the first one, I recommend the first one. Don't play Explore This Dungeon because I don't know. That one's just actually really bad. I'm sorry. You know, I don't know when, but they started making episodes. Okay, yeah, I probably do remember when. It's I Remember You with Ice King and Marceline. And that video dropped, and they started getting into this theme of every once in a while having an episode where they would delve a little deeper into the world, try to explain a few things, and where we started figuring out, oh, this is a post-apocalyptic version of our world, and magic just jibba into our existence. And I loved that. I adored that, and I'm pretty sure, you know, everyone else did too, because they kept going with that. But my friend, I was watching, we both watched I Remember You, and he said he didn't like it. He said and apparently he wasn't the only one who had this sentiment. He said, from what I recall, he said Adventure Time is supposed to be about a boy and his dog having fun, and that's it. He doesn't want any heavy emotions. He watches the show to forget about his day and just smile again. He doesn't want to have any feels, and that show basically ruined it for him. And I'm like, that is sad. That saddens me very much. And I wonder what the writers would say to that, just because, I mean, yeah, it is a small amount of people who don't like that, but still, if I was a writer for the show, and I put in the effort of expanding the world, thinking a little deeper, giving the fans more of what they wanted, only to have some of them say, no, this is terrible, how dare you, that would hurt a lot. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't think I can handle that. I think my favorite episode is Dungeon Train, just because it reminds me of an addictive mobile app game. Because you have Finn and Jake go into this train that's just going in a circle, and every cart is its own mini stage in a dungeon. Finn was just getting off of a bad breakup with Flame Princess, and so this was very cathartic for him, but he eventually started getting into it too much and didn't want to leave. And Jake was trying to tell him, dude, you need to stop. I don't like where this is going. And it had the same feeling of an app game, because it had a small, usually really simple challenge. You would complete that challenge and it'd give you a few rewards. It wasn't really enough to satisfy you, but it would be easy, but it wasn't that big of a deal to just go on to the next challenge, beat it, and then get another small reward. The Dungeon Train reminded me of that, and that was during a time when addiction in mobile apps was becoming a hot topic. It kind of hit me because the paranoia was setting in. But mostly, I think the part I liked most about that episode was when Finn looked into the orb to see his future, and he saw himself as a very old man, still on the train, still grinding for loot, and I will admit he did look a little awesome with all of his loot on. And then you saw Jake in the background, and he was still with him as an old man, saying, we need to leave, and it hurt, it broke my heart.
Me what to do. Yeah, right. It tells me what to do. Now let's see what we got here. Apple, chicken, apple. Oh yeah, that little orb in which I rule. Let's see that again, orb. Yeah, that's right. Looking right. Wait a second. Who's that sad, bored little guy following me around? Jake? All those years. He stayed with me.
Finn, can we slow down? My feet hurt.
What? Oh, Jake. Hang in there, buddy.
It was just a whole new level of friendship that I had never thought possible. One thing they never answered in that show was who made the Dungeon Train. I kind of want to know. That is an answer. That is a question that has not been answered. Can somebody have an official statement on that, please? My favorite main character is Marceline, because I think that's most everyone's favorite character. But it's not just because she's awesome. I think the main reason I like her is because I started watching Adventure Time during my angsty middle school phase. And so seeing this cool chick who was very open with her emotions and would sing angsty songs it kind of resonated with me because I was sitting there listening to Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace and Evanescence. And so I said, you know what, that's really too cool. I like Marceline the most. I think the reason most people like her is just because of how open she is with her feelings. It's a lot easier to connect with someone that way. My favorite side character is Choose Goose, because I wish I could rhyme all the time like he does. I mean, my friends would get annoyed, but it's not a crime. And Choose Goose should rap. With his rhyming skills, his songs would be so good it'd give you chills. Okay, I'll stop. The character I love to hate is Lumpy Space Princess, as I'm sure it's very common with everyone.
What? No way.
But the thing is, I love her in the show because I do love her sass, but I know that if I met a person like her in real life, I would get so angry I would actually punch them in the face, because jeez, that is just, a lot of what she does is just not cool. In a TV show, it's cool, but really, if she was an actual person, I couldn't handle that. I love how she drives the plot along. I don't like her as a person. My favorite villain is the Lich, because, like, when is that not everyone's favorite villain? If you have a different favorite villain, please tell me in the comments, because I want to know. I think the reason the Lich is my favorite villain is because he was voiced by Hellboy, and that's, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, that's probably the best part about the Lich.
There is only darkness for you, and only death for your people. These ancients are just the beginning. I will command a great and terrible army. And we will sail to 1 billion worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished. You are strong, child, but I am beyond strength.
If I had to live in Ooh and had to choose a kingdom to live in, I'd be hesitant to choose the Candy Kingdom, even though that would be the best kingdom to live in, because they have the best government, that being Princess Bubblegum, but I have one of the strongest sweet tooths in the world. Oh geez, I consume so much sugar, it's bad, and I don't want to become a public menace in the Candy Kingdom, which I'm sure will happen if I'm surrounded by candy all the time. So, if I had to choose a kingdom that isn't the Candy Kingdom, I'd probably choose the Lizard Kingdom from the episode Breezy. It was like on screen for 10 seconds. They're all humanoid. They got 2 arms, 2 legs. They got 2 eyes. Okay, I won't feel too out of place. And it looked like they were gonna sacrifice a deer with a giant axe, and I'm kind of curious what that whole cult shenanigans thing that they were doing was. I mean, I know that's kind of macabre, but my curiosity gets the best of me. All in all, I'm really sad to see the show end, especially since it's had so much of a personal effect on me while I grew up. But I am glad this show had such a long and good run. And if the next game they make has a collector's edition, I am going to buy the collector's edition, because it would be heresy if I do not. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video. If you got it this far, thank you for letting me ramble about this show. And I'd like to thank all the guys and gals who worked on Adventure Time, because you deserve all the praise for this show. It was a fantastic experience, and I hope that you go on to create fantastic things in the future. And I'll be following you guys on Twitter, as many as I can. So thank you for watching, and stay beautiful.
You're so annoying, you pitiful old man. I'd like to help you, but I don't know if I can. I thought you were nuts, but you're really, really, really nuts. Every time I move, eventually you find me and start hanging around. Just another lame excuse to see me, man. It's getting me down. You know, I'm actually glad to see you. Maybe I'm the one who's